after you get done taking pictures and stuff in the engine, you can go, this is a passenger car, next car is a dining car, car after that's an observation car, or a business car. Very easy to run.
Okay.
Okay, this is number 1 engine, this is number 2 engine. These 2 buttons here are cheater buttons. You hold these up and push the button. It's what it does, it lets the oil bypass everything and starts moving faster instead of going through all the proper channels. And then when it gets up to either 40 or 60 pounds of pressure, then you just let go of it.
Okay.
And turn it off is the same way, just push them 2 down. This right here is your throttle. This here is your gear shift. Going that way is going that way, and coming this way is this way. And this here is your brake. This brake here is just for the engine. But it will stop all of them if you're not going too fast. This one up here, this brake up here goes to the cars. And it's very, a lot of people think, you know, there's so many gauges, well, you can see what our gauges are. And it's not much difference. You have a little more gauges in the big diesels that just went by, but they're all basically the same. They just make it look more prettier.
Alright. You got air brakes, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really rough in the wintertime. So I gotta try to run them once a week. And then the air gets in the lines and freezes the brakes up. So what I do after Christmas, we have our Christmas show. We have a big tent setting up over there with 7 or 8 trains running in it that the kids can play with while they take a ride on a train. which we don't have that much footage. Just about up to that old barn equipment.
Okay.
That's about as far as we can go legally. And the passenger car,
Okay.
we got it in Maine, and they said the brakes wouldn't work on it. Well, we sent guys up there, the one that works on these for us, and they try to tell them over the phone that over the car you need more pounds per inch instead of like these other ones. Your newer models don't need that much to push the brakes on and off. Well, they didn't believe it, so they went up there and they couldn't drive to where the train was, where the car was. So they found the guy with the bobcat, and they rode it up the tracks and brought it down to where they could check the brakes out, which was illegal as all get out of. And they had 4,500 miles on it before it got here. That thing came to Pennsylvania, went to Chicago, came back to Crestline, which the poster came to the first place. Then it went back to Chicago. Then it went back over to Pennsylvania. And we had a hard time getting that sucker down here. The dining car, we got it down in North Carolina. You ever see that movie, The Fugitive with Harrison Ford?
Yes.
You know that train wreck?
Yeah.
We got this car where they filmed that. And the train that's tipped over down close to the water, it's still sitting there.
Wow.
Basically what it was a shell. And the observation car was made in 1884. In 1930, they put a metal shell over it, which we didn't know that it had a wood. So we're cutting stuff off to put a generator underneath it. Next thing you know, it's smoking pretty good. And we're in an area we can't get water. So the only thing we had, I had a big cooler with water in it. We just taking the water and poured it down between the windows. Finally got it out. And all three cars had to be, this here had to be completely redone. Had to take the carpet out, had to take all the seats out, took the carpet out, replaced the whole floor. And then my boss gets a little antsy. So he said he wants the carpet down and the seats put back in. I said, Carl, you haven't even started painting. Well, you can cover it up. I said, we're still going to get paint somewhere. No, you won't. Okay. So me and my son painted it, and sure enough, we got paint on the floor. And my son said, are we going to wipe it up? And I said, no, just leave it lay there. So when he came back up, he was in Florida for the winter. He saw a couple spots of paint. He said, why'd you get paint on the floor? I said, I told you, you jumping the gun. You should have let us paint it when there was nothing down here except for the wood floor. Well, I thought y'all would be more careful. I said, that's the only two spots on here, Carl. And we told you. So, and we also told him it's too cold to paint. Well, we've had to paint the inside of this car 4 times. And every time he wants it painted, it's in the wintertime. And we have a furnace in it, but it don't get warm enough to heat the whole car up and make the metal nice and warm, then paint it. Because when the metal's cold, real cold, it looks good, but then after a little bit, it'll start peeling off. So can't satisfy them too much. If you want to, just go on through there and take your time.
Alrighty.
And if I'm not here, you can come in through that blue door over there.
Okay.
Unless I'm down that way.
Alright, I'll be over in a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you don't mind, when you come out,
Lock it.
just lock that door.
Sure will. Alrighty.
Sometimes the doors are hard to open, but they open.
Okay. Kitchen cut.